The day began with nothing unusual on the surface, yet by the end of it, the entire entertainment industry seemed to tremble under the weight of a single message that Bai Lu sent to Shen Yu. It was not posted online nor shared by an insider, but rather leaked through a quiet stream of whispers that grew louder as the hours passed. The message was described as soft, emotional, and heartbreakingly sincere, and it was said to hold the kind of truth that could destroy or heal depending on how one chose to read it. Shen Yu had been filming her new drama in Hangzhou when her manager walked in holding her phone with trembling hands. The look on the manager's face told her that whatever she was about to see would not be easy to handle. When Shen Yu opened the message, she froze for a long moment, unable to breathe. The crew members nearby noticed the sudden stillness that fell over her like a heavy curtain. The screen of her phone reflected her face, pale and unreadable, yet her eyes carried a storm no one could name. The message from Bai Lu began with a simple greeting but quickly turned into something far deeper. Bai Lu wrote about regret, about misunderstanding, and about the pain of being seen as an enemy when she never wanted to be one. She spoke of how fame and rumor had built walls between them, how every headline seemed to turn their silence into rivalry, and how she had reached her breaking point watching strangers decide what their hearts felt. Then there was a line that broke everything open. Bai Lu wrote, "I never hated you, not once. I just wanted to understand why it always had to be a competition." Those words lingered in Shen Yu's mind like an echo that would not fade. She read them again and again as if searching for hidden meaning between each sentence. Around her the set grew quieter. The director called for a short break, sensing the tension but not daring to ask why. When Dylan Wang heard about the message, he was in a recording studio miles away. One of his assistants showed him the trending topic already climbing to the top of the Chinese social media charts. He looked at the screen and for a long moment said nothing. Those who were there said his expression shifted from confusion to disbelief and finally to something heavier, almost like guilt. The studio fell into silence as he stood up, walked out, and stood by the glass window staring into the city lights. Behind the scenes, Bai Lu was also breaking apart in her own quiet way. She had written that message late at night while sitting by her balcony staring at the city below. She had not meant for it to leak, yet somehow the world had taken hold of it and turned it into its own story. Her agency tried to control the narrative, but it was too late. Fans from every corner of the internet began debating what had truly happened between her and Shen Yu. Some said it was about Dylan Wang, others believed it was about an old friendship broken by fame and ego. Meanwhile, Shen Yu stayed silent. For 3 days she refused to speak to reporters or update her page. But those close to her said she barely slept and spent hours watching old clips of the three of them together. She remembered the early years, the laughter on set, the way Bai Lu used to tease Dylan whenever he forgot his lines, and how they had once promised to stay close no matter what success brought their way. On the 4th day, Shen Yu finally appeared. She was scheduled for an interview about her drama, but everyone knew what the real question would be. As soon as the cameras rolled, the interviewer hesitated, then asked carefully about the message. Shen Yu smiled a tired smile and said, "Sometimes people say things too late, but that does not make their words less true." Her voice trembled slightly, but her eyes were calm. She continued, "I read every word of what she wrote, and I know it came from a place of truth, not pride, not anger." The nation fell into silence again after that interview. Clips of her statement spread across every platform, and fans began piecing together what might have really gone wrong between them. Some noticed that Dylan had liked both Bai Lu's recent post and Shen Yu's interview clip, which only added more mystery. Others wondered if he was the unspoken reason behind the emotional message that now united and divided fans at the same time. Later that week, a leaked video surfaced showing Dylan Wang visiting a quiet restaurant in Beijing. To everyone's surprise, Bai Lu was already there. They were not fighting nor smiling, but simply talking with that kind of intensity that can only exist between people who have known both love and misunderstanding. A short moment from that meeting showed Dylan placing his hand over hers on the table, and Bai Lu looking down, unable to meet his eyes. That brief touch sent the internet into chaos. Reporters claimed that Dylan had arranged that meeting after hearing about how much the message had affected Shen Yu. Some said he wanted to make peace, others said he wanted to protect what little trust remained between all of them. But no one could confirm what truly happened inside that room, except that when they left both looked emotionally drained yet strangely lighter, as if a quiet truth had been spoken at last. Shen Yu saw that video too. For the first time in days, she posted something short and simple on her social page. It read, "Forgiveness is not weakness, it is freedom." The world exploded again. Fans flooded the comments with theories, joy, and confusion. Was she forgiving Bai Lu, was she addressing Dylan, or was she simply choosing peace for herself after years of silent rivalry? Bai Lu reposted the message minutes later with 3 words, "Thank you, you." And just like that, what began as a shocking leak turned into a quiet reconciliation that no one saw coming. Dylan followed both of them that same night after years of social media distance, confirming what many had hoped for but never thought possible. The entertainment industry kept talking for weeks, but among the chaos something rare happened. Instead of hate, fans began sending messages of support. They made edits of the 3 stars smiling together during their earlier projects, reminding everyone of the bond that had once been unbreakable. The tension that had shadowed them for so long began to dissolve, replaced by warmth and nostalgia. Months later, during an award show, all 3 were seen in the same room again. Cameras flashed as they greeted one another. Shen Yu smiled first, Bai Lu returned it, and Dylan stood between them, his expression unreadable but gentle. The audience erupted into applause, not because of the awards, but because they had witnessed something far greater than fame. They had seen 3 people find peace in a world that rarely allows it. And as the night ended, a fan posted the perfect summary of what everyone felt. The post read, "The message that started the storm ended the silence, and reminded us that sometimes the truest stories are the ones told without scripts, only hearts." It was the kind of ending that did not need explanation, only emotion, and it left everyone speechless, just as the title had promised. The studio lights had dimmed long ago, but the whispers refused to fade. After Bai Lu's secret message leaked, the entire industry held its breath. Shen Yu had stayed silent for days, and that silence began to feel heavier than any word she could ever say. No one knew where she was, not even her close friends. Dylan Wang tried to call her, but every attempt ended the same, unanswered, the phone ringing into nothing. Bai Lu, on the other hand, disappeared from public view. Her last post was a single line, one that sent her fans into chaos. "Sometimes love turns into misunderstanding, and silence becomes punishment." Those words became the talk of every feed, every fan page, every gossip show. Was it about Shen Yu? Was it about Dylan? No one knew, but everyone speculated. Then, days later, Shen Yu reappeared. She attended a quiet press event for her new drama, her face calm but distant. Reporters swarmed, their questions sharp like knives disguised in curiosity. She didn't flinch. When someone finally asked, "Did you receive Bai Lu's message? What do you have to say to her?" Shen Yu paused. Her lips trembled slightly before she gave a small, soft smile and said, "Some messages aren't meant to be answered. They're meant to be felt." The room fell silent. That single sentence became the headline that night. Fans began dissecting it, frame by frame, word by word. Some said it was forgiveness. Others said it was farewell. Dylan Wang, meanwhile, was filming overseas when he heard about Shen Yu's response. A crew member said he froze for a few seconds, staring into space, before walking off set. Later that evening, he posted something cryptic on his social media story. "Sometimes, the ones who hurt the most are the ones who never meant to." Fans went wild. The trio's emotional entanglement had reached new heights. Everyone began connecting dots. Old interviews, glances caught on camera, lyrics from Dylan's unreleased song that mentioned letters never sent. The internet was ablaze with theories. But then something unexpected happened. Bai Lu uploaded a video. No dramatic intro, no filters, just her sitting in her dimly lit room, eyes red but determined. "There are things you can't control," she said quietly. "Fame, stories, the versions people create of you. But friendship, real friendship, it's complicated. It's love, jealousy, forgiveness, and everything in between. Shen Yu, if you see this, I hope you know it was never anger. It was pain." She didn't mention Dylan, but his shadow lingered between every line. The sincerity in her voice, the way her hands trembled, it made even the most skeptical viewer pause. Comments poured in by the thousands, fans writing about how they cried, how they finally understood. Hours later, Shen Yu posted something of her own, a photo of a paper crane resting on her windowsill, with the caption, "Some things are too delicate to break, even if they hurt." The internet erupted. It was clear now. The rivalry that once seemed bitter was something much deeper, layered with emotion, misunderstanding, and unspoken affection. Dylan Wang, for the first time, stayed silent. That silence only made it more powerful. Weeks passed, and the chaos started to fade, replaced by a strange calm. Bai Lu and Shen Yu were seen at the same charity event months later, standing only a few feet apart. Cameras flashed. The crowd hushed as they exchanged glances, hesitant but warm. Then, to everyone's astonishment, Bai Lu stepped forward and hugged Shen Yu. For a moment, time stopped. The audience gasped. Some even teared up. Dylan Wang, who was performing at the same event, paused mid-sentence when he saw it from the stage. He smiled faintly and said, "Maybe some stories don't need an ending, just understanding." That moment went viral within minutes. Fans called it the forgiveness scene. Clips of the hug flooded every social platform, drawing millions of views overnight. Comment sections overflowed with relief, love, and gratitude. The trio, who once seemed divided, had become a symbol of emotional maturity and strength. Behind the scenes, people said the moment wasn't planned. That Bai Lu and Shen Yu hadn't spoken before that night. It just happened naturally, as if fate itself decided the time had come to heal. Afterward, the two actresses were seen talking quietly backstage, away from the cameras. No one knew what they said, but those who caught a glimpse swore that both were smiling through tears. Dylan later joined them, and for the first time in months, all three were together again, not as rivals, not as gossip headlines, but as people who had finally found peace. That was the true ending. Not a statement, not a video, not a scandal. Just silence, warmth, and closure. And as one fan wrote under the final clip that went viral that week, maybe forgiveness isn't loud. Maybe it's quiet, like three hearts finally learning to beat together again. The story ended not with shock, but with serenity, a reminder that even in the storm of fame and rivalry, the human heart always finds its way home.